Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. I got Jon Velie on the phone here. He's a regular contributor on The Price of Business and brings great information, great interviews, great guests and topics. And he has a very unique law firm. In fact, I kind of consider him a thought leader when it comes to helping people with immigration law issues. And his website, onlinevisas.com, was years ahead of its time from anyone out there among the other firms in that area of immigration law, and still considered very cutting edge. Jon, as always, glad to have you on the program.
Thanks, Kevin. Glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit more about your firm, and then introduce us to your guest today, which looks like a great one.
Oh, she is. Our firm, Velie Law Firm, with our website, onlinevisas.com, is a global immigration practice. What we do is we move the world. That's businesses, people, and assets from around the planet to here in the United States or out of the United States to other places around the world. And we handle visas. We set companies up. We move some incredible people into this country and others, and really have a great time doing it.
Very good. And our guest today?
Oh, well, we have Gloria Sinclair Miller, one of my favorite people in the world. Gloria is a human resource business partner. She has been a senior human resource leader for about 15 years in a number of industries, pharmaceutical, retail, and financial services. And she's been in a lot of leadership roles for the Society of Human Resource Management. That's called SHRM, including her immediate past role as the immediate past president for the Philadelphia chapter of SHRM. And she has some great credentials. She is a global and senior professional in human resource certifications. That's GPHR and SPHR, and the new the SHRM SCP certification. She has both a master's degree and a bachelor's degree in human resource management. And she's not only great at this job, but she has done some things in HR that, one, I didn't know that HR professionals did, and really is making a difference when it's coming to protecting the rights of a number of different people in the workplace, including vets. And she has been come up with something called the War on Talent and doing some great things around the country.
Very good, Gloria. I mean, that was a pretty thorough elevator speech already given for you by Jon. Any gaps you want to fill?
No, I think Jon did an amazing job, and I'm just very honored to be joining you both today.
Well, we're glad to have you, and I do want to mention right from the very beginning that Gloria's website is Philly, PHILLY, SHRM.org. Jon, your question.
Well, I'd really love if Gloria could get into the War on Talent. What does that mean, and how are you helping it?
Great. Well, it's a great question and one that I'm very passionate about. So, War on Talent, if you're in the HR human resource field, it's not a new concept. But when we think about where we are right now and what we're looking for as employers, we have an increasing need for employers who have different types of knowledge, experience, sophisticated skills. And as we look at our generations that are coming into the workforce, and quite honestly, those are leaving the workforce, where are gaps? Where do we have an opportunity? And that opportunity comes through having more people who have who are more savvy with technology, quite honestly, who are more able to really think about science, technology, engineering, and math, all of those skills that often are referred to as the STEM skills. But these are the great opportunities that we have, and where, quite honestly, if you're an employer, you are struggling to find individuals who have this type of capabilities and talent consistently when you have roles available. And it really is impacting bottom lines. It's impacting how work is actually getting done in our organizations.
Yeah.
So this war on talent is really, how do we tackle, and how are we able to get ahead of and win this war, if you will?
Right. Yeah, for me, as someone who watches public policy and watches it closely, I get frustrated by the interest in, there seems to be a huge amount of political interest in bringing in large numbers of people who really cannot contribute significantly to the talent pool. They simply don't do that. They serve specific functions of the economy, but they don't really help make the United States or maintain America's cutting edge going forward. Meanwhile, some of the most important talent, some of the brightest minds around the world that would do anything to get in this country, there's serious barriers between them and getting here to help us keep our edge. Talk about that.
Yeah, no, it's a great point, because you're absolutely right. We're losing our edge because we're not taking advantage of the diversity of talent that actually is out there. And you talk about those who want to come to the U.S. and have that global experience. We have a group of individuals right under our nose, which is a lot of the work that we've been doing within our Philadelphia SHRM chapter is how do we educate businesses on the value of our returning service members who are coming back from deployments, who are maybe currently serving in the reserves and our civilian soldiers, who have those talent and capabilities that we're actually looking for, but unfortunately we don't look at them because they're 1% of our population actually serves in the military, but yet that 1% is getting some of the skills that we actually need to survive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, John?
That is a fascinating point. Gloria, please tell us about what are some of the downsides the vets are facing when they're trying to come back into the workforce. What are some of the myths, and tell us about whether those myths are true or not.
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's one that I'm very passionate about because I think, unfortunately, as with other different types of people, if you will, there are stereotypes. We have this stereotype that every service member coming back from being deployed, whether in Afghanistan or Iraq, are all crazy. They all have PTSD. They don't have the ability to have an office job or take on a job in finance, that they all will be angry. They don't have the training that is necessary to succeed in a role in a Fortune 500 company, which is so far from the truth because many of them are managing budgets larger than some of us are in our current roles. They are mobilizing thousands of individuals on a daily basis, and it's not just to how many widgets, if you will, are we going to make today? It's how are we going to go out and bring everyone home safely. So I think the stereotypes that are out there are just, they're myths that just have to be educated. People just need to be educated and understand these are myths, and not every service member is coming back with these conditions.
Yeah, no question about it. Jon Velie, he's an attorney. He's a regular contributor on The Price of Business, and he's with and his website is onlinevisas.com. His guest today, Gloria Sinclair Miller, and she's with Philadelphia SHRM. That's PhillySHRM.org. John, your next question.
Another thing that you're dealing with, Gloria, is it's a phenomenal concept when you've talked about it. How many different generations do we have in our workforce right now, and what are some of the distinctions between them, and how do people that are hiring in employees, what do they need to know, and how should they handle this?
No, we do. It's a great time. We have almost 5 generations in our workforce right now, and when you think about the generations that are in there, there's obviously those who are more retirement age. Some of them have already retired and are now taking on that second job, if you will, or that next career because they're not ready to just, relax and vacation all the time. They still want to make a contribution to the workforce, and they have some great skills that we still need, quite honestly. And then you're looking at your Gen X and your Gen Y, which might be more our generation, if you will, who are still making an impact and want to make an impact in the workforce and don't want to necessarily work our entire lives in one industry like our parents may have. Mm-hmm. And then the two newer generations in the workforce, if you think about them, they're the ones that have had technology their whole entire lives. Like, they don't remember. If you look at our youngest generation about to enter the workforce, they don't remember life without a computer or a cell phone or maybe even the internet. Those things all existed when they were born and quite frankly were flourishing when they were born. So when you think about how do you manage this workforce, first of all, how you even talk to this workforce is very different. There are people who still want the pen and paper and that face-to-face dialogue, and there are others who will just text me and I'll get it done.
Yep.
Give me my assignment through the phone. So it is definitely a challenge for managers who are in this workforce and managing these 5 generations.
And with that, Gloria, we are done. Great segment. Thanks so much for being with us. Gloria Sinclair Miller, again, Philadelphia SHRM, Philly, SHRM.org. And Jon Velie, he's a regular on The Price of Business, and you can tell why. He brings great content and a great guest. OnlineVisas.com. Thanks to both of you.
Thanks so much, Kevin.
Great
Thank
segment.
you.
When we come back, we're going to have much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com, and this is The Price of Business.